So this is like a walking scene, right? Depending on exactly how glitch works, for a scene like this, when you have like this steady mid shot and you're animating the characters walking down the hallway, depending on how much time you want to save, if you know for sure, if you know for 100% sure, this is the shot you want, this is the composition, this is the cinematography, you're not going to change anything. I will bet you money that if that's how they work, then right out of frame here, the legs aren't doing anything. Their feet are not touching the ground, they're not actually moving, they're not actually walking, and all that's really being animated is just whatever bits are in the camera. And that's usually called something like cheating to camera, right? Cheating to camera means a lot of things in 3D, but one of the main things it means is that you don't animate the scene realistically as though it's a real scene that's happening in a 3D space. You animate the scene as though it only exists in whatever bits of the scene are visible to camera. And that's a trade-off, which is a thing like everyone animation, there's trade-offs, right? When you do that, what you can do is you can do a lot of animation that's very specifically calibrated to look good in camera in the way that the audience is allowed to see it. But it also means that if you decide at some point during the production process, like this shot isn't good enough, we want to change the angle, we want to pull the camera back, we want to add another angle on the scene, all of a sudden you can't really reuse all the work you did, or you have to add a whole bunch of extra work, bringing the stuff you did where you cheated to camera up to snuff of being capable of being rendered in another direction. There is this push and pull. This is one of the things that's interesting about game animation, by the way. 3D animation in games, most of the time, cannot cheat to camera. Unless it's a very, very tightly scripted cutscene, you can't cheat to camera at all, because the player could be anywhere in the scene viewing it. So animators working on video games have to be able to render and animate scenes and acting and motion and movement in a way that will look good from any angle that the player can possibly encounter it. And that's a very different discipline in many ways than animating something like this, where everything is like statically oriented towards the camera. If you can ever find like behind the scenes footage of like, I think they did it for Shrek. I think that was the first time I saw cheating to camera sort of being explained, with some behind the scenes footage from Shrek where they showed, oh yeah, for this scene, we didn't render Shrek's legs at all because it's a medium close-up where like his legs are not going to be relevant, so you just had Shrek's like upper body. That blew my mind as a kid, because I thought, oh, but 3D is like puppets, right? So you have to have the whole puppet. Like, no, you can literally just despawn whatever bits you don't need. And that's something that's fun to think about in all kinds of shots. Like in a close-up shot like this, right? Like I'm sure the rest of the model is there because that's just easier, but whatever animation is happening to Kinger here, it's just the upper body, because it's just that little quarter of it that's showing up. Again, depending on how they work, depending on the workflow that they use, like same thing here, like this dolly shot zoom in on Pomni. No need to animate anything below the shoulders because nothing is happening to it. So this might look very funny if you could obtain like a different camera angle on the rendering files of this.